Welcome back to Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and today in this feature product video, we are going to be looking at a storage solution which will reduce this 13 box plus all-in pledge for Marvel Zombies down to just a handful of boxes. I'll show you exactly how many we get it down to in the very end of the video, but first want to mention, if you're interested in any solutions for board games that take what is obscene in some cases in the number of boxes that you receive and bringing them down to something more manageable, as if I was to place this on my Kallax shelf, this would take up at least 2 to 3 slots with all these boxes, but if we can actually crunch these down using the Tinkering Paws insert, which is extremely well designed in almost every case, you really save a ton of space on how they organize their miniatures and the cards and components, getting them compacted down, and also all of this helping with setup and teardown as well. So if you're interested in anything for this insert, I've got a coupon code in the pinned comment and video description if you already know you need this, and for me personally, I knew I needed it. This thing is taking up way too much space. Also, they have other organizers on their site as well for games beyond this. I've covered a couple in the past, but there's even more out there, and I definitely recommend you check them out because, well, being able to get some space back on your shelves sometimes is very, very nice, and also being able to get your games to the table quicker and put away faster is also nice too. Here's a look at the Tinkering Paws insert outside of a shipping box. You'll see everything is compacted quite nicely and organized into blocks, and they're all bubble wrapped to make sure they come in one piece, and you've also got these dividers as well down below. You'll find on the Tinkering Paws for each insert a video and a PDF with each of the inserts being sold. Also, each of the insert pieces also have markings on them to let you know exactly which piece you're dealing with, and that will help you as you walk through the PDF. And it is worth mentioning that these markings on the insert pieces are subtle. They're not going to pop out. They're going to be nice and well hidden when things are all put together. These 3 trays are going to house all the heroes in Marvel Zombies. To insert a miniature into each of the compartment rows, it's as simple as lining up the base with the notches at the bottom and just pushing them down into position. It's that simple and just as easy to get them out. Up to this point, I've started to place the heroes inside the trays. The PDF tells you exactly which trays to use for your heroes. You'll see that there are spaces. Don't worry, we'll be filling more in as we go. And you may even have some additional space, which is actually nice to have. You can move things around a little easier and also organize things the way you wish. There is no predefined sections for these miniatures to sit inside of. However, height does matter. So for instance, this tray here and these 4 right here are all the same height. So you're going to put the medium, or I should say average size miniatures in those ones that are a bit taller, you're going to place in this tray right here, and the tallest of all out of the ones we pulled so far, and believe me, there's other ones in the box, but these are the tallest ones I pulled out so far. They go in that tray in the back. Later on, even more larger scale miniatures will go in here too, and there's more trays with more miniatures to fill in. I also found a few more superheroes to slot into some of the empty spaces, and now we're going to move on to the zombie heroes, of which there is a giant pile. Here's a look at my progress so far, and most of the zombie heroes are inside their trays. Just like the superheroes, you can place them in whichever trays you wish, but be aware of the fact that you're going to want to make sure when you lift them sideways that they're not going any higher than the height of the tray that they're in, just to make sure that when you start placing them inside the boxes, you don't have to do any rearranging. Very easy to just do a quick check by lifting them up and looking across the top to ensure miniatures aren't popping out of them. You'll notice there are varying sizes, just like the hero trays for these ones as well. You'll see these smaller ones, for instance, have ones for the more crouched over or hunched over zombie heroes, so you want to place the smallest ones in there, for instance, but most of the other trays are the same size. And then this one right here is a shared tray, has a bunch of larger miniatures in it from the superheroes as well as the zombie heroes, kind of all mixed together. That one I was very specific about and put it in the same order as the PDF, but the rest of these I slotted in as I felt like it. This next piece of the insert is a favorite of mine in terms of its design. You'll see bases on the top and bases down below, and it alternates all the way down one whole side and the same on the opposite side, allowing you to slot miniatures all the way down. You can have as much as 4 in each of these, and they're simply just easy to pull them right out and to store them back away like so. We've got ourselves bystanders across this side with Hydra guards. Flipping this over to the other side, we have more Hydra guards with shields and troopers. This insert has runners, walkers, and Hydra soldiers, and both sides are identical, so you can choose to fill it out however you wish. This next piece of the insert holds all the brutes. You need to make sure they're placed in this orientation for them to fit. Next up, we have a box just for the Sentinels. We have 3 of them in here. Larger scale miniatures. You'll see they slot down into 3 different positions on top of each other. To get them out, it's really easy. Just slide them right into their grooves. When you're done, place them back in. Now we slide Giant Man into his tray, and as you can see, just slides straight down through the groove. I've now got all the tokens and game components inside these trays. Not only does it have space for the regular cardboard tokens that would come in the core game, but also for all of the plastic tokens that come as part of the upgrade pack if you happen to pick that up. So it's pretty nice to be able to store both of them inside this insert solution. Now you'll also notice way up top there is room for dice. You can get 4 sets of dice inside of these 2 compartments here. I have a 5th set which is off to the side. I'll easily be able to find a spot for those to hide at some point, but I'm pretty impressed by how many dice you can actually have in here. Now 2 of the core boxes I got for my pledge had 6 dice inside of it, and then I purchased 3 additional ones on the side, so that's kind of how I filled this all out right now. Now it's also worth mentioning I don't have Marvel Heroes Resistance, which is a core box that came out prior to Marvel Zombies actually landing. So there's a couple trays in here that are specific to that, and also spaces for miniatures to fit, of which I'm not going to be able to fill out yet until I get that Heroes Resistance box, because I did not pick that up, but I will be in order to complete this and be able to store it inside the insert. Components for Heroes Resistance go inside of these 2 pieces right here, but we won't be using them as I still need to pick it up as I mentioned, so we'll be putting those off to the side for now. And here we have the zombie hero cards and super hero cards all in, and you'll also notice there is tons of room to be able to sleeve all of these. Here's a look at the 2 trays that house the mini cards. You'll also see a 3rd tray here for when sleeving starts happening. You still have spaces all throughout here, and of course it'll start to go into the other compartment and you can organize things. It'll also put the dividers further apart, making them even easier to read as well. You'll see a number of different dividers here for different sections like Galactus, Hydra soldiers. You can comb through all of them like Sentinels or the zombie mode soldiers all the way through, so you can keep things organized and use what you need during gameplay and keep what you don't inside this insert. I'm now ready to start filling up the boxes. We start with the X-Men Resistance box. We're going to put pieces in one at a time. All of the environment tiles go inside this box, except if you have the Heroes Resistance. If you do have that, you'll take away 3 of the tiles, placing them elsewhere, but I don't. So all of mine are going in here for now, plus a number of trays for tokens as well as the upgraded tokens up here. Another layer of component trays go on top, keeping it all even. The next layer is really going to make things snug. You're going to go ahead and place all the dashboards in piles on top of the map tiles. Then place a couple tokens here that match the colors right inside the center. The cards go all the way around the outside like so. You'll see space for mini cards when we start sleeving them later on. It's also worth noting anytime you're placing a tray in here that has a high back, make sure the high back is on the side against the actual dashboards. It's going to help keep them squeezed in place. And also, even though in the PDF it says to place this at a higher level and to put these cards in an L shape starting here and going down, I switched it because I plan on vertically storing this box. So I wanted to have the heaviest stuff already at the bottom, so when I store it vertically, everything's going to sit properly, nothing's going to move. Although to clarify, nothing's going to actually move inside this box no matter how I organize it, but what I want is to avoid having a ton of cardboard weight, which is underneath here for the map tiles, high up in the box, crushing down on the inserts themselves. So I'll place the inserts on the sides and on top, keeping them all protected. The last thing to do is to place very small rule books and dashboards on top. So there's just 3 here across these different sets, and that's going to do it. Box number 1 is complete. The X-Men Resistance cover goes on top. That's 1 box down. Let's go to the next one. It's going to be the core box for Marvel Zombies. The first layer of the insert is now inside the box. There's space here for Marvel Heroes Resistance miniatures when I pick them up in the near future. As of right now, let's move on to the next layer. I gotta mention this as I go through. There is nothing more satisfying than placing these trays inside of boxes, knowing that you've collapsed 13 boxes down to a handful. It's pretty insane. We're gonna go ahead and put in the next tray. You'll see what we've done on this layer is we basically pointed them in the opposite direction. That's gonna structurally keep them very strong. We're gonna place this last one in right now. So we'll go ahead and place it in facing this way. Just slides right in like so. Again, if you ever need these while you're playing, you just simply lift them out, put them in. I love it. And the final thing to place in the box is this tray, which sits very nicely in the top right-hand corner. Putting the lid on the core box completes box number 2. Box number 3 is the stretch goal box. And just like that, this is an entire layer placed in, filling the entire box with some of the biggest miniatures inside the game. Again, another fantastically designed insert. I am very impressed. Now the PDF tells you if you have Heroes Resistance and you have all of the map tiles, 3 of the tiles are going to go into the box we just closed on the very top, creating a nice platform where all the rule books will sit on top of that. There was clearance on the top for all of it, so once I pick that up, I'll be able to do it. For now, I could simply just lay the rule books on top and there'll be no issues as everything is even across the top anyway. I thought I'd open it back up and throw the rulebooks in just to show you that it can work. So regardless of whether you're using map tiles underneath of here, just a couple in order to strengthen the back of this thing, it's already strong enough to be able to hold the rulebooks. You simply just lay them across the platforms, which are literally perfectly designed to place the rulebooks on. They're not going to go anywhere anyway. And then literally put these larger ones sideways on top of them, and you're good to go. And that, my friends, is going to wrap up the feature product video for Tinkering Paws Marvel Zombies insert, which I am very, very happy with. Being able to reduce this pledge from 13 to 14 boxes down to just 3 necessary to play the game. This one just being an extra if you have the tiles set. That's pretty impressive. It's pretty awesome to be able to compact these games down. This by itself right here will fit in 1 slot on the Calyx shelf, and that makes me happy. I plan to actually store these vertically, which is going to be really, really nice. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're interested in this Marvel Zombies insert and you want a discount on it, as you might be eyeing it after this one, then check the pinned comment and video description. Would love to help you out to be able to pick this up and be able to use this and make your games easier to get to the table and easier to put away, and also just reduce a whole bunch of clutter for you. And if you have any other interest in other inserts across Tinkering Paws, feel free to use the coupon code across their site. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope this was helpful, and as always, keep on rolling solo.